What's going on, Truck Junkie fans? This is Larry, TJR Sim, and today I'm looking at Project Cars. I'm going to do my video review of this, and I also have the typed up version on my blog as well. So be sure to go to www.tjrsim.com to check that out, and you'll see it probably in the header there. Alright, so Project Cars, I'm going to keep it kind of simple. There's been a lot of reviews out on this, but I'm going to give you my opinion of it. As all reviews are, they're opinions. So, I'm not paid by Project Cars to give you a review or anything like that. This is just me being a sim racer, loving sim games, been loving them for as long as I can remember, since Enduro from Atari, okay? So, and that, there wasn't any such thing as sim racing back then. It was just an arcade racer. So, but in Project Cars, I'm going to cover some of the cons, the pros, some gameplay, and physics, force feedback, the normal stuff. And I'll give you a conclusion of it. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to knock out the cons first because I like to end on a good note. And some of the cons are, not that big of a deal, but they are cons, so I'm going to list them out. And these are my findings from day one of actually May 6th of playing this game. Track IR. If you have a Track IR system, it's awesome. Highly recommend running Track IR with this game because it works really well actually when it's working. However, in the beginning stages of Project Cars, Track IR was a little bit. Then the game was, I guess, interpreting or having problems with Track IR. For instance, one of the major issues I had was with playing practice mode. Track IR would actually blow up on me. Rather, I would blow me out of the car. I would be 6 feet above the car, looking down on my car in Track IR. Which wasn't good, but this only was apparent in the helmet view, which is the only view that Track IR works in, which I believe that Project Cars really should step it up a little bit and get Track IR to work in non-helmet view and just a cockpit view, because it does add more lighting to the inside of your cockpit, and it seems to add a little bit more visual cues when I'm just in my cockpit as opposed to driving in helmet cam. Where you have the visor on in the helmet cam, and it kind of darkens your scenery a little bit. So I wish they would go ahead and update Track IR to work in just cockpit view without the helmet cam. That would be a nice addition, and really, frankly, should be a standard as well to complement the helmet view. So anyway, I had some problems with Track IR. It would hover above the car about 6 feet. I was looking down as if I was God. Looking at my race car driving down the road, which wasn't feasible. It only worked like this in practice mode, solo mode, career mode, and they all work fine. It's just a bug. Another bug, SimVibe. I run SimVibe from Sim Xperience, love it. Really brings the immersion factor up when you're using SimVibe and a sim game like Project Cars, and it will lock up various times, just communication problems, I believe, with the game will lock up on you. Over the days of playing, it has actually gotten more stable, but it is a con as far as, and I'm not sure how much of that would even be the fault of the Project Car team or not, but anyway, it is something I noticed, so I list it. Alright, screen indicators. Here's one that's kind of annoying to me. When I'm in helmet view or cockpit view, which is, if you use a wheel, that's probably your favorite view to be in. I don't see when I turn traction control and analog brakes and stability control on. I run in Pro version anyways, but when I get into an F1 car and I'm just trying to get my bearings of the track and stuff, I like to flip on traction control and kind of learn the track a little bit first, and then flip it all off when I actually go race. But I can't tell if I have it on or off unless I'm trying to spin up, because even with the traction control on, the stability control on, your car will get really loose as if you didn't have it on, but it buffers it slightly. it basically, the game does promote you to drive good regardless, whether you have it on or off. But I don't have any indications that it's on, unless I pan out to a different view and I see the little digital dash that's in display with the icon showing it on or off. So they need to add that somehow into helmet view and cockpit view, whether it's just flashing on the screen for a second that you've traction controls on or traction controls off would be nice. Replay mode. Alright. Oddly enough, you can fast forward and rewind replay mode without your replay HUD showing. And you can do that from your wheel with buttons that are mapped to it, right? But you can't toggle camera views for some reason. I don't know why you can't toggle camera views. So I have to keep pulling up the HUD to change my camera view when I'm trying to make a video. It'd be nice if I could just toggle the camera views or preset camera views to certain buttons on my button box to make for a cleaner looking video without HUD popping in and popping out. Okay, so it's a minor gripe, but it should be there, you know. So, all right, let's continue. Liveries, however you say it. There is a ton of them, and they're awesome. They're beautifully done. You can actually do custom ones as well that I've seen, and import them in as mods, which is great. But you know, just sticking with the ones that are there, they look great. The only problem is I want to use them, and it was a little painstaking to figure out how I could use them. Finally figured out, between watching other videos of how to, because apparently other people have problems with this as well, is you go out to game mode or your home and select a car, any car you want in your garage, and you can change the liveries right there. And to know if you save that livery, you would just click on the little green button and it would exit out of the screen back to your home screen, your garage home screen rather. So thinking, okay, I guess it's saved. If you looked off, you'd miss this cue. Okay, there's no beep sound or anything, no audible alert for you. But when you go into, say, a solo mode to run a race, and you're like, oh, you're presented with the screen of cars that you want to select, and it has the default libraries on there. Well, you're wondering, well, where's that library that I picked, that I saved? I don't even see it here. Well, it's there, it's saved. They're just giving you a default one. So once you actually go in the race, you'll see that your color scheme, your paint scheme that you wanted is in there. But there's no indication. There's a little bit of lost communication as far as, did I save it, did I not save it, until you actually go into the game, which then you gotta wait for load up time and all that, right? But it would be nice if they just add to the menu selection when you're selecting your car to be able to change your liveries right there on the fly, toggling left and right through it. It would be a nice addition, and it would be a lot more fluid for sure. So they need to change that. Okay, let's get on to career mode. Career mode to me is pretty good, but it's not engaging enough. And what I mean by that is that, yes, you have 3 big goals. You have 0 to Hero, Defending Champ, Triple Crown. This is all great, right? You can start off in karts, end up racing in Formula 1, you know, in 0 to Hero. Awesome, right? But these are big goals, and they take a while to achieve. But I need some smaller goals in there to show I'm making progress. Little smaller achievements to help encourage you to continue that career for the benefit of the big goal, right? So I think they should add something in there. Not sure what it would be, but kind of more, maybe some team credits. I'm not sure. I mean, there's not a credit system in here, but they need to add something to some awards, really, just to get you, you know, updated, or get you where you feel like you need to keep doing career mode. Also, a career mode, you're pre-selecting a team, 2 or 3 different team choices, right? Well, I don't know to pick the team that's from Spain over the team that's in Canada. Neither one of them give me any kind of compelling evidence that I should pick one or the other, right? So you just pick one. And I don't really see the car before that, so I don't know if, well, maybe I just like the way this car looks better with this certain team. I like their paint scheme better. I'm going to go with them. There's nothing, no cue there to tell you what to pick over them. Is the team that you're picking from Canada placed in the top 5? So they have a well sorted out suspension, and their crew chief's really good. I don't know. Or can you pick the team that's up and coming, and with them you're going to help develop their car, and kind of like Formula One style 2014, where you're going out and developing the car as you go. Stuff like this would be a little bit more engaging in the career mode, and I think it should be added. I'd imagine by the time you see P-Cars 2, stuff like this would be added. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a little bit disengaging, but career mode, all in all, it's pretty good. I do enjoy doing career mode just because of the vast cars that I'll be picking and playing, and I enjoy career mode because it gives me something to go forth with instead of just running a random race and changing the weather myself. I like seeing that the points that I'm leading the points lead, or I'm trailing the points lead, and how a race in this one race is going to affect my whole career as a racer. That's all there, and that's really good. So I do enjoy that, but I would like some a little bit more individual side quest, with it. So, but hey, that's just me wanting everything, right? All right, so we'll go on to a couple more cons. Pit stops, AI, and sounds. All right, pit stops work great. You come in, the car automatically takes over. You come into the pit stop, changes the tires, you pre-select, you want to change your tires, you want to fix damage, stuff like that. That's all great. The only bad part of pit stops is you don't control your entry speed. It automatically, computer takes over. You never blow pit entry. You never get a black flag because you sped in pits leaving it. So it's perfection, and it's already done for you. Some people will like that, I'm sure, because it takes the stress off of having to come into the pits and making sure you slow down enough so when you come in there you don't get flagged for speeding, right? But for the purist, like myself, I want to control that myself. I want to hit a button on my button box that says, my pit limiter's on. You hear the RPMs bouncing off the pit limiter as you come in. Hence iRacing, how they do it. That should be, for a game that's calling itself a sim, that should be there. It's a no-brainer. Alright, so, and also on pits, just for the arcade style of the game, is I don't see my guys running around my car. I do see a guy come out with a board telling me to pit here. Of course, the car goes in and pits in itself, and it transfers over to the cockpit view, and I can move around the cockpit and look around while the crew is doing what they're doing, but I don't see the crew doing anything. Maybe if I pan out for some different views, I can maybe see that, but it won't let you pan out to different views. So, for instance, I come in on helmet view because I like racing in helmet view, and it automatically goes to cockpit view. Well, I didn't take my helmet off, right? And so when I exit the pits, and it's exiting for you, I got to toggle and hurry up and find my helmet view again, and select it to go back out. Well, I came in on that view. I should be able to leave on that view. It should do this stuff automatically for you. So that's a little bit of a hiccup, I think, on the system that needs improvement. AI is really good. Seen and read, people complain about the AI, it's stupid, or they're bashing you, running into you and stuff like that. And a lot of those guys I see, they're not very patient drivers. If you're coming in underneath a car into a turn, whether you're too hot entering the turn, you overshot it, or you're just trying to muscle your way through, treat it as if, I try to treat the Sims as if it's a real car, right? So I wouldn't dive in with my Porsche GT3 that I paid for, which you couldn't buy anyway as a civilian, but and say I wouldn't drive in underneath a guy and hoping that that opponent sees me coming in on the inside of them in their mirror. Most of the time when I get bumped from the AI is because I entered their blind spot. They didn't see me. And then actually when they do see me, they react and they move out of the way and give me a little bit of room. If they don't see me, they hit me. And then of course the reaction is cars bouncing off each other. So the AI to me is actually really strong. It's much better than say Assetto Corsa was in beta stage. And I would say it's really along the lines of the release stage of Assetto Corsa is now. It's not as good as probably GameStop car, but or what are they calling it now? Stock Car Extreme. That's so many names, but it's pretty close. And the AI, actually, I have quite a lot of fun with AI, and I hardly don't have restarts. The only time I run into bugs with the AI is starting off, which is usually a problem with AI in most sims is the takeoff. You know, they all bunching up to turn one. How do you get through turn one without crashing? So it still has some of that problem there. Only other problem with AI is that in the rain, AI drives as if there's no rain. I mean, they got grippy tires, and I'm struggling following their lines, even doing their braking points, and they're still pulling away from me. So that needs to be tweaked a little bit. All right, let's get on to sounds. I'm gonna try to speed this up here. Sounds are pretty good. They're not great. They're not race room. Sector 3. You know, you're not gonna hear you hear some training whine, but you don't hear it as pronounced as you would in say race room. Race room really has the sounds down really good, and it really adds a lot of immersion factor when you get these sounds down. Now, when you're in helmet cam, it's muffled and stuff, which is good, but I want more in-cabin pronounced sounds. I want the sound deadening of the car to be gone, because now I'm in a race car. I want to hear that exhaust rumble. I want to hear droning of the exhaust. I want to hear more of that. But you don't quite have that. You don't have the high-pitched training whines and stuff like that. Again, I'll refer to race room. Race room should be really the starting point for any sim racing game, to be calling itself a sim. But anyway, it's a minor gripe, but it could really add a lot more immersion if it was fixed, if they had an update, redoing the sounds. Maybe by the time they come out with Project Cars 2, the sounds will be improved even more. They're not horrible by any means. They're pretty good. Outside of the car is a lot better than in cockpit, but they just need to lose some of the muffled sound to them. Way better than say like Gran Turismo, really more along the lines of Forza 5. But I digress. Let's get on to the good stuff, right? Let's get on to the pros. And I touched based on a lot of the things here, but the pros, you know, when you look at Project Cars, you think of the beautiful visuals of Project Cars, and it is gorgeous. Project Cars sets the bar above all as far as graphics go. Frames per second with those high-end graphics, it's awesome. The dynamic weather, I mean, you can't beat it. They really set the bar here. So, you know, the thing that really brings in the immersion is the dynamic weather. You know, you can have light fog, heavy fog, clouds, sunny, rain, you know, you name it, it's there. You can set up to 4 different settings of weather, and it'll cycle through. If you're doing a 24-hour race, it's just going to cycle through all these weather changes, right? And you can advance the time, slow down the time. When you start bringing in the dynamic weather with the time of days, it really increases the immersion, makes it a lot of fun, and challenging too, because the track looks completely different at night than it does on a sunny day. All your braking points are off when you're in heavy fog. You know, it really adds to it. It equals the playing field, mind you. So visuals, oh man, you know, A plus right there on the visuals. Other visuals, you know, you get like heat haze across the track when you're sitting on the line. When you're revving up your Mustang, you know, you're seeing the car torque from the revs. It's pretty neat. You know, you got headlight reflections from the cars behind you. They're reflecting on you. you know, bouncing lights off of different parts of your car as you're making the turn and stuff. You know, it's a lot of fun, a lot of immersion there. Really good. Screen blur at speeds. Your instrument panels, they get fuzzy. So from the vibration, you know, when you're in the helmet view and you're nailing it, you know, and you're looking down like, man, what place am I at? You know, you can't really see it. It's all blurred out until you slow down, and then it, you know, clears up. So the fuzzy instruments are pretty cool. Although in a real car, in real life, I wouldn't have fuzzy instruments, but it's to represent, you know, your speed. You know, try to bring that across to you, because I mean, after all, with a racing sim, all you have is visual cues and sound cues. And if you can add something like vibration effects, you know, within your wheel, you know, which this game does, and force feedback, you know, all those are cues of your car sliding out and stuff. So they're doing a really good job of immersion, I think, with this one. Rotor glow. I mean, you got the rotor glow going on, so you know they fade in, fade out kind of thing. I remember this was popular back in Gran Turismo days. Came out when they first came out. Oh my God, they got rotor glow. You know, so you know, of course, Project Cars has that stuff. All right, well, enough of the visuals. Let's get on to the gameplay. So, with the gameplay, you got what, 29 manufacturers and 74 cars to start off with. Which, mind you, they don't have Chevy in here, and I don't know why they don't have Chevy. I would love to see the 01 Corvette or Z06 in here, or Camaro SS. You know, they don't have that in there. Hopefully, it'll come with updates. I'm really hoping they do. Couldn't imagine it would be a licensing problem where they couldn't get Chevrolet in here. Anyway, they don't have it. But you got 72 stages, different stages to race on, making up with 29 locations, 7 racing disciplines. This is huge. I mean, for a game to start off with, really good. You know, thank Forza 4 for that matter, how many quantity of cars and stuff. But it's not just the quantity of cars, it's the quality of them too that are there. It's cars you want to drive. It's not, you're not starting, it doesn't force you to start off with a Honda Civic and then work your way up to a Honda S2000 and then move up to an Acura NSX. It's not Gran Turismo, okay? Everything's unlocked in this puppy from the get-go. You pick the car you love, you master that car. It's your car. You want to go race that car, and you're gonna race it on the various tracks. Go for it. You know, it's there to do. And then, you know, experiment on the other cars that you like, that you may not ever driven before, and you may turn out really loving them. So everything's unlocked from the beginning. Huge pro. And the variety of cars, liveries, and tracks is great. I mean, I can run down California track and doing a Cannonball Run experience, which I actually produced a video out there of that as well. But it's just fun. It's a lot of fun, and that's what we play these games for, right? It's fun. So, all right, let's get on. What else is in this game that I love? Load times, really fast load times in this game. It loads up faster than any game I've seen load up, which is good because I've closed this game and reopened this game and closed it when I was having some bug issues with Track IR and Sim Xperience, SimVibe in the beginning, and I didn't have to wait. I didn't get that daunting, oh my god, this is going to take forever, reload this game up. So really helped out that the load times were fast. Menu navigation, another speedy thing. Go through menus really fast, which I like. Like I said, this works with third-party stuff, so I'm running my Sim Instruments dash on here. I'm getting all the cues from it, you know, what gear I'm in, however I want to set up Sim Instruments dash to view in this game, and it works. Again, SimVibe works in there, Track IR works, you know, controls up to 3 controllers. My button boxes, DSD button boxes work in here. This is all great. This is what I expect to happen with a sim, especially when I'm running a PC sim. That's why I went to PC racing, to be able to have all these extra visual aids and immersion factors into it that you can't really get in consoles. But I digress. It's all good. All good. Alright, so physics and force feedback. That's a big one. Alright, really good Physics, not perfect. Really good force feedback. Needs a lot of work, I think some of this will iron out as far as the force feedback goes. If they would release a manual of how to really set your force feedback properly for your cars, because right now it's a little daunting to figure out what setting does what, especially those who are used to force feedback settings like R Factor 2, iRacing, stuff like that. So this one's a little bit daunting to get used to. And I've played around with it, and I have gotten some pretty good feedback through my wheels. Like when I'm racing the Clio, I get really good torque steer on it. I feel the tires rolling over on it. I feel chatter of the front end. So it's all there. The physics is there. It's just getting them relayed to you is a little bit muted, and it needs to be turned up a couple notches, I think, for the force feedback combined with the physics. You can drift a car through a curve fairly easy, actually. It's a real easy game to pick up. I mean, especially if you turn the assist on, turn damage off and stuff. But you still got to learn how to drive, right? But it makes it pretty easy. It's pretty easy to jump into, say, like Forza 5, but the physics are turned up even more. A lot better physics than the Forza, I believe. But not as good as iRacing or, say, R Factor 2. Their physics and force feedback is definitely a few notches above this one. But it doesn't stop me from playing this game. Game is a blast. So, alright, well, let's end with conclusion. I just want to give a short one because this can take, you can talk about this game for hours. So, I'm going to conclude this with what I think who's this for. Now, if you're a console guy or gal and you already like Forza franchise or you like Gran Turismo franchise, this game's for you. Because it is a simcade that leans a lot more towards sim. It's easy to pick up, easy to run with, and it's a blast to play. And there's so much you can do in it, so many custom races you can make, that it brings you back more and more, along with immersion of the weather system and stuff. It really kicks it up a notch, or a few notches. Okay, if you're a true sim racer, you probably won't stay on this game forever. Probably won't be your go-to game. You're probably going to stick with iRacing or R Factor, and you're going to dabble in this one like as if you would Assetto Corsa. To me, this is Assetto Corsa on steroids. I love Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa is great, but this one takes it to the next level because of the dynamic weather system that it has and the fluidity of the game. There's no problems with rendering flags flying and cars passing you at the same time in the night, haze and the headlights, or the night coming on and headlights flashing off of you. It really works really well with your PC, and I don't really see much stutters. So in conclusion, like I said, if you are a fan of Assetto Corsa and GameStop car, stuff like that, it's definitely worth it. On the console side, and of course I'm reviewing this in PC, but on console side, if you like Forza series or Gran Turismo series, this is the game for you, because it doesn't matter what console you have. Even if you have a Wii, this will run on it. And that's it. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Leave me some comments. I'd love to hear from you. What's your thoughts on the game? Whether you like it, what's your experiences of it. I've actually had a lot of good experiences with this. Far more good experiences than bad, and really enjoying this game. And I'm hoping to, like I said, get some more cars in there and master the tracks a little bit better. Until then, stay tuned. We'll see you on the track. Bye.